Hello and welcome to Rose Play, Season 6, Episode 7. Excellent day! Oh my. So, within one season we've gone to see now 2 movies. The first one being... 2? Okay, good. I didn't want to show, I thought. First one being Ratchet and Clank, which was kind of a flop. Yep. And today's movie, Angry Birds. Subtitle, The Movie. As always, I'm your host, Shain BlueRose, and my lovely mastermind manipulating, finger tilting co-host, Shain BlueRose. Alright, so, let's not waste any more time, and...
let's get to the movie!
Exactly, let's bomb, speed, and be angry! At the review of Angry Birds. First with the history, plot, and story. I believe that's going to be her pose the whole movie. I shall call you King Mudbeard.
Excuse me, I'm a king. I prefer queen, thank you.
Well, we're an Angry Birds, so I didn't see a queen. Or a female pig, for that matter.
How dare you, I am no pig.
But anyway, the history of it. It was a cell phone type game that later got itself turned into a console game, which later became a cartoon series, which, speaking of the cartoon series, is mainly why this did originally get made, was from the success of the cartoon that's been playing on some channel I've not actually seen other than DVD, at local retail stores. This movie was done by an American-Finnish animation company. The game itself was made by Rovio Studios, and the movie itself was distributed by Rovio Animation, Sony Pictures, Imageworks, and distributed by Columbia Pictures. So not only have we seen 2 movies during this season, they both been kind of have something to do with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
That is starting to get a little disturbing. Let's see, anything else with this? Cell phone, space, blah. Alright, so, I'm really not quite sure what the plot of the game was. I've never actually played Angry Birds.
Awesome! Basically what you do, the pigs steal your eggs. Don't let them take the eggs! As the joke is. Basically, you take the slingshot, take the little birdie, and go, let's get that pig. And every time you destroy all the buildings and kill every pig, you win and go up to another level. And once you get all the pigs dead and get all the eggs back, you're a hero!
Alright, so then the movie isn't too much different. The plot of the movie...
it's just the very first time that it's happened.
Yeah. The plot of the movie takes place on
and
birds.
Red was right!
Yes, Red was right. We'll get into that a little bit later. The movie takes place on Bird Island, which is an island full of birds, which ironically can't fly.
Except for one.
Except for one, and that's the guy who created and watches over the island, Mighty Eagle. Well, anyway, this boat ends up... oh no, I guess I should start with...
Red, who is angry.
Yeah, he's angry all the time. Bushy brows.
Well, he's not angry all the time. Everything just lights him off.
Yeah. And a few other characters, Chuck, Bomb, and Terrence. We'll get into them with characters.
Terrence.
But Red's basically an orphan. He peeves off the wrong people, goes to anger management. Well, that happens.
Peeves off the wrong people. He lands on their egg, and the baby calls it Daddy all the time.
Oh, yeah, that is... I forgot about that. Well, the ship comes in.
Destroys Red's house.
Destroys Red's house and their pigs. Trying to be friends with them.
Liars!
As she said, they do steal the eggs. The rest of the plot of the movie is them trying to get back the eggs and save the day.
Fatsos.
And that's roughly the plot. It, I guess, mimics the game perfectly, really. Just a little bit more story into it than anything.
How dare they steal kids?
I know, right? That's very sick.
And want to eat them.
Yeah, they actually want to eat them. I don't know if that's explained in the game, but yeah, they want to eat the eggs. Also, the king might want to have sex with one of them.
first one he saw, and that has more issues and red flags drawn up more than anything.
Yeah.
Let's be lovers, and then I'll eat you.
All right, so that's the history, plot, and story. There really isn't much more history behind it other than it's one of the best-selling cell phone games that started the cell phone game craze. All right, so presentation and music, and what a doozy this time. All right, so the presentation. I mean, there's not really much to say. What we said in our last... At least she's in a chipper mood, folks. So, basically, the animation and the graphics are, again, like Ratchet and Clank, except less CG, more animated, and better. But it mimics that of Pixar. I mean, like I said last review, all animations are pretty much being close to being really, really good. I thought the animation was
Nothing
nice.
to still beat Pixar, though.
Of course. With Finding Dory, too.
Oh, boy.
That is another key point that we'll bring up later in the show, actually.
Oh.
But, very colorful, very bright. The characters... and there's the name of the character, or something. We'll go like 5 hours of like everybody again now. But,
you wanted me to go that far, huh? Ryan Reynolds.
There we go. Alright, so though.
Johnny Test.
Wow, she's really putting them all in there. Okay. Now that we're through that little dance fest and trying to scare me. The characters work well together. I do think there's too many characters, but I mean the whole village is kind of the main cast.
There are never too many characters in Angry Birds.
I guess with a slingshot, no. Ahoy!
Except for one breaks it.
Really? Yeah, really, there's not much to say about presentation. If you've seen an animated movie, yeah, she's gonna grab the handy-dandy notepad because we actually marked down a few of the songs, which we'll get to in music here in a sec. But, I mean, if you've seen one animated movie, you've pretty much seen them all.
How dare you?
Animation-wise. I mean, tell me something that was different from any other animated movie that we've seen in the past, other than this one was very bright and chipper. That's about the presentation.
With you?
You gonna elaborate on it?
I have none with you. I have a few without you.
Oh. But,
See, people, he can get me tongue-tied too.
But now we'll go into the music aspect, which, of course, lovely co-host will take care of. And it also does do presentation, because the music actually did play a big part.
My favorite so far is the ending. It's called I Will Survive. And it's not the original, believe it or not. It's actually redone by Demi Lovato, which keys into my point of Demi.
I will survive. I don't remember too much more of that song, but hopefully you guys
have heard it. And then they have a nice, really oldie that I absolutely love. I know, I'm getting there. And it's called I'm Never Gonna Give You Up. I'm never gonna let you go.
Which was rickrolling you back on the internet like 3 or 4 years ago.
But it's such a catchy tune, and it fits it perfectly. So far, I can actually say all those songs went well with the whole movie.
Yeah, even the ones we're not gonna name, the music was great.
And this is one he absolutely had to put in. I want to say it's because of me, but I might be over.
It's one reason, but
it's called Behind the Blue Eyes, or Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah, I forget who does it, but basically it's about why am I the only one lonely.
And it kind of goes into depth with Red, because Red's all by himself. He has no family. He has friends, but he don't want them.
Same thing with I Will Survive. Actually did play in the movie. I don't remember quite what part, but I want to say it's when they're laying siege to
Pigville will die.
Pig Island. Which, speaking of Pig Island, there was a lot of other good songs. I'll go ahead and take the PDA back. There was a lot of other good songs in here. It really did help with the presentation.
It did a lot better than Ratchet and Clank for me, because I couldn't pinpoint anywhere they went.
Still though,
or I could pinpoint almost every song for...
I'm going to say Red. Deadpool and Pixels, other than Pixels' very last song, still did better than Angry Birds with the music. And remember, the last song was...
video. This is more for kids, I will say that. It may not seem like it, but I know it's PG for everyone, but I'm saying this for a kid's standpoint. They went really more towards kids. Because
Yeah.
there was more kids that played this game, and some adults, but
no,
not
a lot of adults towards a while.
I know, but after a certain point in this history, it's become more kid-based, so they're trying to get the kids to really enjoy it, because the cartoon was for the kids, and then the movie was because kids wanted to see a movie.
But you know what?
Started the whole reason.
I was going to add this later into the review, but I'll just say it now. It is a kid movie. I mean, I personally think it'll be great for kids. But it's also a good family flick, and the parents can actually enjoy it, too.
It kind of really, it leans towards both sides at certain points. Like, one point it's really towards the kids, and then it goes and gets into that angry phase, and it goes more towards the adults.
Well, there was some adult humor, but hidden behind kiddish jokes. You know, the kind of kid humor. Yeah, you gotta
really listen to the joke, though, to get that adult part. Right.
So I think we spent enough time. We probably talked about more later on into it, but oh well. So let's get into the next part, which is characters and actors.
Who will be baking for me?
I actually like that one. And of course, I'm also going to throw in the people who did play the characters and the characters that were in the movie. Also was good presentation. I mean, I'm really trying to stretch out this presentation thing because there's nothing. Eggs. Who does that?
That's so wrong.
As Red put it, who does that? All right, so let's go ahead.
And psychopaths.
And
they know they're your kids.
I don't know if they knew that, though.
They told him. Red told them. Those are our kids. How can you do that?
All right, let's go into characters and actors.
Or in his terms, you sicko. Wait for it. Red, yellow, black. Red, yellow, black. Red, yellow, black. Boom goes the button.
Actually, if you want to get technical, though, red, yellow, black, red. Even though Terrence, the last one, didn't make...
He broke the slingshot. It literally went like this.
Spoiler a little bit there. All right, let's start with the characters. The first one was, of course, Red. You know, the bird you see on the games and the TV show. Bushy brow, angry. He was played by Jason Sudeikis, who you may also know him from... And before I say this, most of the cast that I wrote down plays in one of the two of the Grand Theft Autos. Weird. He played in Grand Theft Auto 4 as Richard Bastion, or a movie you might know him best in is We're the Millers.
He was the dad.
He was the dad. Jason did great.
He was also, unfortunately, I feel sorry for him, he was also in the TV series my husband is watching right now, The Office.
Yeah, just a few episodes, but...
It's sad.
But either way, he did really good as
Rest
Red.
in peace.
I think he can really get an emotion out there, and he was very, very great at sarcasm.
Oh, that's an understatement. If I need lessons from sarcasm, I'm going to him.
Yeah. Other than that, Red did grow as a character, but he
turned sweet, but he still had his anger issues.
I think
he just know how to make it into a joke.
I think Red, Chuck, who we'll get to in a sec, and Bomb were the
Wait, let me go grab something.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I think they were the three best that worked together. I think that movie was basically
poor
work for 'em. I know, right? All right, so let's get into the next person, which is Chuck, my personal favorite.
He's from Pixels.
Oh yes, he is from Pixels, and it's Josh Gad again, who was Pixels, which was
Kyle
Ludlow Lamsnoff, and he's also Olaf. I love
warm hugs.
Warm hugs. I will say Josh Gad is slowly becoming one of my favorite animated actors lately. He's
awesome. I still love what he did to the police officer.
Yeah, he does amazing. But the reason why I like Chuck is not just the fact that now Josh Gad plays him, who also did not originally want to do the movie. They talked him into it.
I'm glad they did.
So am I. But the reason why I like him is, spoiler alert slightly, there's this one scene where they finally get into the final area, we'll call it, and Red's like, we need a plan, how do we take care of this? And Chuck just looks at the screen, and he's like, and then all of a sudden, he starts running fast, because he's the fast one, and he's just like, if you've seen the Flash TV series where he can go really fast and everybody else, this is basically that, and he
10 times faster.
10 times faster, and he like takes everybody down, comes back, he's like, does anybody have any ideas? That's Red. And all of a sudden
it's like, does anyone have any ideas? And he's just like...
Yep. And then it takes care of all the guards. And he's like, what just happened?
I happened.
But yeah, Chuck was my personal favorite. He, of course, she just mentioned that. He also... Oh, yeah, I guess we talked about that. All right, we're ready to go to the next person, other than the fact that Chuck was my favorite and was a speed demon. Next was Bomb.
Poor guy, I've been at a surprise party. He actually, he does not, like, freak out or fart.
He's the bomb bird.
Yeah, the black one where you would actually go and you'd pull him back, throw him. You could either let him lay on the board or whatever your building was and let him detonate on his own, or you click him on his fuse that was on top of his head.
Would get shorter, yellow, and then he'd go boom.
Boom, yeah.
I don't really think was angry per se. I don't know why he was in there. Just glitch. Yeah. He was played by Danny McBride, who was also in Grand Theft Auto 5, not 4, as Dwayne Earl, but you may also know him better from 30 Minutes or Less.
I think I know that show, but I'm not sure.
It's a movie, but...
Oh, that's right.
Okay. But, yeah, I think Bomb was... like I said, Bomb and all of them worked together. There was Terrence. He was silent, but evil and creepy. We're going to go into Leonard King Mudbeard, who was the king of the pigs.
Yeah! You're my bacon now.
Even when he was faking to be nice, he seemed like a complete dick. And in the end, it did turn out that he was. But he was played...
He let Red see it full on.
He was voiced by
Red
Bill...
even tried to show him paintings that he wanted him to leave.
He was voiced by...
Oh, I love this innuendo. Spoiler alert. He went through 5 paintings. This was I showed your... They should show our paint. That's why I decided to show your paint.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went to the end one, and this one here shows you, and it's called Bye Bye.
Yep. And he also voiced in Grand Theft Auto 4. Fitting for this, I guess if they do an animated Grand Theft Auto movie or a live action, just get the cast back. But he played Wilson Taylor Sr., but you may also know him better from playing Fear from Inside Out. So,
I unfortunately have not seen it, and I regret to say that because I really want to see this movie.
It does seem like a good movie. And last we have Mighty Eagle, who is voiced by...
I love how in his statues he looks all ripped and everything, but once you go see him...
Yeah. He was voiced by Peter Dinklage again, returning from Pixels. He was Eddie Plant, Fire Blaster. You may also know him, of course, as from Game of Thrones as Tyrion Bannister or something. But
he was the guy that was always imprisoned and stuff, and was on treason.
Eagle was honestly Ratchet and Clank's Quark. But better. More likable.
I actually like... If I had to pick between Quark and Mighty Eagle, it's gonna be Mighty Eagle.
Yeah. Alright, so that was pretty much the cast. There was more, but I just picked the most important ones.
Oh, let's not forget, can I just do this one little spoiler? Terrence has a love interest, and you don't get to find out from me.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet. But disturbing, at least when you learn about it from the beginning.
Because it's Terrence.
I know, right?
Girl, I feel sorry for
let's move into the reception of the movie, which, guess what, folks? There was actually an audience this time.
I know! Oh my god!
So, there was a mild amount of an audience. At least half a theater. I kind of quit looking after that, because I was just like, oh, people, yay! Exactly. For the most part, the audience's reactions was good. I mean, there was laughter here and there. I mean, people kind of did stay quiet-ish, but you could kind of tell there was a good vibe.
For wee scene.
Yes, and that's going to be the spoiler quickly. There's one scene where the whole audience, everybody including me, laughs.
Because the bomber and Chuck decide to go swimming in the Lake of Wisdom.
Yep,
and
which is the Mighty Eagles.
Wee pond.
Yep. So they're sitting there and they're playing in the water and they squirt water in each other's mouths from their mouth.
Except for Red. Red's like, get out of there. You don't know what.
And Red's like, oh, you're not going to do that. Oh. Well, then Mighty Eagle comes out and, urinates in it.
And all you see Chuck do is put his tongue on a boulder and take another rock and try and rip it off.
Yeah. And Bob's just like, oh. And Red's just like, I told you.
Yeah, Red's like, you should have waited.
That got everybody to laugh. But I think for the most part, the audience seemed like they liked the movie. So, let's get into what reviewers and whatnot thought reception. And a few other things. Okay, as of right now...
It was awesome!
it really was. I did quite enjoy it. I don't know if it was because of the Ratchet and Clank incident, that, from one kind of movie to a good movie, or if... I think I might have liked it a little bit more because of Ratchet and Clank.
No,
That's kind of
you
sad.
liked it more because of. Here's a sadly future notice, everyone. There is going to be a Tetris movie.
That's going to be my final thoughts. We already talked about all the other final thoughts. I'm going into Tetris for a few minutes if we have the time. But anyway, I don't even want to think of it. All right.
It makes him cry.
It does
all
a
I
little
have to
bit.
do. No, this is all I have to say is Tetris movie.
All right. So, as of right now, since the movie premiered Friday up until Sunday, it has made $39 million in North America and $112 million in other areas. Its budget,
That's a lot.
well, its budget was only 73,
Wow.
and it made 151 million total. So I mean, it did surpass it. So if they wanted to do a sequel, they could do it. Spoiler alert: there is a sequel bait. Not gonna say what it is, but sequel bait is in there. Mid credits.
Let's say there's a dance.
Say at least, yeah. Say halfway through the credits at least if you want to see.
Yeah.
It. We talked about Finding Dory a little bit. What might actually help Angry Birds is that until June 17th, when Finding Dory comes out, this is the only animated family movie out. So it's going to get a lot of views.
I'm sorry to say that, but Finding Dory is probably going to crush Angry Birds when that comes.
It's going to crush a lot of things.
Well, of course, it's got Ellen DeGeneres playing Dory.
This is the top-selling video game film of the weekend.
And that's saying something,
yeah,
folks.
It's the third best Sony animated opening ever.
Wow.
And it's the second best debut weekend ever for a video game. The only thing beating it out? Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life.
Which is understandable because, no offense, but Tomb Raider's actually been around longer.
And a site said that it's more entertaining than any phone app game to become a movie. But they also then went on to state, somebody went on to state that they're not sure if that's really a compliment or
an insult.
But, yeah.
Which is understandable because that is a hard one to tell.
That's basically the reception and whatnot, but I will say that she is right. Finding Dory's probably going to destroy it, but...
Right now, it's our highest one right now.
Yeah, and for a video game opening movie to be, what did I say, second best ever, that's saying something. But I will say that's probably a lot helpful that it is animated, that it is kid-friendly and parent-friendly. So a lot of people going are going to be the kids, which are going to take the parents.
Because they have to take the parents.
Yeah, the parents are going to enjoy it and tell their parent or their friends about it, who's going to take their kids and enjoy it, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be
until they hear, oh, Dory's out.
Yeah. Then it's over.
What's this bird thing again?
I'm going to go swim in the sea. All right, so let's get into final thoughts and rating.
Welcome to Final Thoughts and Ratings. Tetris.
Oh, God, don't talk about Tetris. I guess that's what I said I was going to do anyway, wasn't it?
Tetris.
So, yeah, I might have stayed in Ratchet and Clank. I might not have. I really wasn't too up to seeing the Angry Birds movie originally.
Then you got a post about 2 days ago.
Well, a little bit more than that, but they announced that they're going to do a movie based on Tetris.
What are they going to do with blocks? Yeah. Literally, it's blocks.
How do you make a movie out of Tetris? Please, someone inform me in the title. Or the comments. Thank you. That's how...
This has got him so frustrated, he's trying to figure it out himself.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing I can think of...
Battleships had something. This doesn't have
swear anything. To God, if they do Aliens again, I'm going to freak and maybe be done with movies for a while. But the only thing I could think of for them to do with a movie, which kind of does involve aliens, I hate to say I just said that after saying that, but basically a supernatural asteroid or something's heading towards the Earth, and the only thing that can save them is making a perfect Tetris that an alien race tried to make and failed years ago. Bam! Plot for Tetris.
I already want to fall asleep to this, people.
That's how.
And I don't normally fall asleep during movies. I'm not the sleeper.
I can't think of anything for it. But that's my final thoughts. It's just, bam!
Don't do it, please. If you love us gamers, don't do the Tetris game movie.
I mean, once I heard about Tetris, I was a little bit more psyched for Angry Birds, but in the end, Angry Birds was good. Final thought on that, you really should go see it with your kids. Good, friendly kid movie. Great for the parents, too. If you like the game, you'll like this. So, let's just dig right into the ratings now. So, I got 3 ratings from 3 different sites. 2 of them by reviewers, 1 of them by the audience. which
That's
there is
shocking, because we normally can't find one about audience lately.
Well, normally I couldn't. Right now, they don't even have that many reviews out. There's like 3 total as it is. 2 of the... But the reviewers themselves, the critics, didn't give it that well.
Wow.
One site gave it a 4.9. Yeah, and a 4.3. The audiences at least were giving it an 8. I'm more on par with agreeing with the audience. With the 8. I don't think it's average. You did your rating last time first, right?
Oh, sorry. That broke me for a second. Yes, it did. Sorry.
Okay. So, my rating. I'm going to agree with an 8. Maybe a 7.5.
I second that.
Yeah. I mean...
Whoever those critics are very, very horrible people.
I mean, don't get me wrong, and I'm actually surprised we're on about the same criteria of rating. I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie was good. They could have done some stuff better.
I will agree with that since I played the games and I've seen some of the cartoons episodes. They could have gone a little better with it.
Not just that, but at some points, I mean, I enjoyed the plot and the story, but sometimes it felt like they were stretching it just a little too much.
Like, I could understand stretching it just a little bit, but they were like...
And even though the songs were good, they were songs that I wouldn't have expected from an Angry Birds theme.
Like which one,
though.
to be honest?
Really, Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Don't get me wrong, it worked for Mighty Eagle, but to hear it in there...
I could actually see it for only one reason, and that's, unfortunately, sorry, peeked a little in my mouth, Mighty Eagle's love affair from afar.
Yeah. Never Gonna... I Will Survive works up to an extent. It seemed... I don't know, maybe I kind of like the original more. I like Demi Lovato's version.
That was really good.
It was.
You weren't expecting anything from Demi Lovato, and neither was I. That was like, wow.
What was the last song that Oh yeah, Behind the Blue Eyes. I love that song, but I understand why they used it for Red when he was depressed.
I understand that, but it didn't really go anywhere else.
Yeah, it didn't. It was just there, and don't get me wrong, it worked, but at the same time, it's like you could have done something more kiddish, because when I hear Behind Blue Eyes, I think an adult, like, trying to commit...
Are you trying to teach kids to be depressed?
Yeah, trying to be depressed or off themselves or something. It was just...
Let's not say that.
Yeah, but so I give it an 8 for those reasons.
I agree with all those reasons, and those are basically my reasons too. Yeah. So there's our rating.
I think the main reason out of it all, why an 8, is just that it felt like it dragged on and tried to stretch itself more than it should have.
But it also, even though it stretched, it actually came together at the end.
It did. So yeah, an 8 from both of us.
Congratulations, Angry Birds.
Yeah, you did better than Ratchet and Clank. Not as good as Pixels, I think.
Let's put it this way. Here's Ratchet, and here's Clank, and here's your guys' lovely slingshot.
That's why I think Deadpool still won, though.
Oh no, Deadpool's the one pulling the elastic. Watch him go, guys!
Oh god, I can only imagine. Alright, so, ta-da! We've done 2 movie reviews in a season.
Yay!
Now, just ahead of time, we might actually be doing 4 special episodes instead of 3 in a season, because I have a feeling we're not going to finish The Wolf Amongst Us before June 10th in Warcraft.
And for those of you who aren't understanding why, it's because Orion here is going to be doing
E3 as well.
That's why, because he's going to be taking a short break from games and doing E3. So
yeah, hopefully, depending on how good it is. But in that retrospect,
so for those who are not expecting,
for season 7, we'll only do 2 special episodes because of this extra one being thrown in another movie review. It's the season of movies.
So if you're expecting anything in those 3 days that you're thinking is going to be games from him playing, don't expect that. It's going to be him reviewing.
Yeah, something like that. And she may join if she sees anything good. Or
it'll depend.
It all depends. But we're running short on time, so we're going to go and let you go. Thank you for joining us for the review of Angry Birds. Go see it.
Bye, guys.
Yep. Until next time, remember, keep gaming, never give up, and if you're angry, use a slingshot and destroy everything in sight.